Yo guys, welcome to The Last Lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
We talked about him a bit. Mm-hmm. We talked about how, Toto Wolff trying to get him a seat somewhere doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Toto said he doesn't expect Mick to race in 2024. It looks like 2025 might be the earliest opportunity. But there were interesting quotes from Franz Tost, who is the soon-to-be departing, but is not departed yet, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Hasn't left AlphaTauri yet. He went on record saying that he wanted Mick Schumacher in that seat instead of Nick de Vries alongside Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
I've got.
That must be fun for Nick de Vries.
Yeah. So this is the quote, right? It's quite interesting at the end. Mick Schumacher didn't secure a cockpit for this year for us. It was then open after Pierre Gasly's situation came to light. So it's basically saying they wanted to keep Pierre, but then Pierre
wanted to go Alpine.
So like, cool, right, what are options? He, as in Mick, is significantly better than he is currently perceived in the outside world. It was rejected though. So the powers at Red Bull, the higher-ups, rejected his desire for Mick Schumacher.
Right.
We now have Nick de Vries, and there's really nothing more to discuss. That last sentence is a bit.
Nothing more to discuss means that there's a lot to discuss. That's crazy.
Don't tell us not to discuss France.
Exactly.
Do you want us to talk about it more?
Yeah, who are you to tell me not to discuss that right now? We'll do it now.
What I wanted to ask, do you think there's any, because Franz doesn't need to address this at all.
No.
But he's chosen to say this and put this out. You've got a driver, Nick de Vries, currently in that seat, who's struggling somewhat.
Yeah.
Do you think Franz just doesn't give a fuck now? He's just saying what he wants to say, or do you think this is like an intentional means to be like, get your ass in gear, Nick, because I wanted Mick. But
I'll be honest. I think it might be a combination. Honestly, I think it's partly trying to galvanize Nick probably a little bit. I think that's an interesting way of going about it because if anything, I think he would, if he wanted to do that, he would have been better saying, we have a lot of desire for Mick, like, I think he's a good driver, whatever, because then it insinuates, Nick, listen, boss, if you don't get this together, Mick Schumacher's chilling in a Mercedes role right now, we could go get him. That's more motivational, I think, rather than, we want a Mick Schumacher, but I guess we'll settle for Nick de Vries. Because now, if I'm Nick de Vries, now I'm just depressed. Because now I'm just like, oh shit, well, I wasn't even... I mean, he probably knows he wasn't first choice anyway, because...
No. They wanted Colton Herta.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
So de Vries knows he's at least third choice.
Jeez, man. Cheesy peeps.
That's where it kind of... It makes it somewhat... Again, maybe just hindsight because he's doing well in Super Formula. It is interesting that Liam Lawson wasn't more considered because he did have the super license points for it. But at the end of the day, this is why, for Colton Herta to be first choice, then Franz Tost wanted Mick Schumacher, but then the powers that be decided for Nick de Vries to go in. And again, look, at the time, and still even now, with benefit of hindsight, I think de Vries has deserved this shot at F1. And he's still give him to the end of the season, give him to mid-season and see if there's a upward trend in his performances. I think there needs to be an upward trend by mid-season for me. But that just adds to the whole, well, if Red Bull senior management were the ones really pushing for de Vries, then surely they were hoping that he would be able to be that number 2 to Max long term. Yeah. Because he is quite a bit younger than Sergio.
Yeah.
Surely.
There's got to be some kind of plan for what de Vries was going to go on.
Because why would they be pushing for that move so...
Yeah.
That's not a very Red Bull move. Especially that junior team, they'd rather just sling in any old rookie who's just about got the super license points, give them a go, sink or swim. If they don't do
then there's someone else that can get it. Yeah.
But they went for a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
So to me, that only, I don't know, I could be wrong, but
no, I agree.
That's the only logic I can apply to that one at the end of the day. But
what do you think Mick, if Mick was in that car this season, what would his performances be saying?
I think he'd be doing better than de Vries is.
Yeah.
Because he's just got more recent F1 experience.
Yeah, I think that's almost a given because he's ultimately been in F1 for 2 years before this season. He's driven this type of car before as well. boom, yeah, calm. Would he be doing better than Yuki though?
No, he wouldn't. Yuki coin to the moon, mate.
Yuki coin, yeah, no, Yuki coin is up right now. Yuki coin is up.
Look, I mean, maybe in points, because again, Yuki's come so close and just got fractional points so many times now. His average finishing position, like the points don't reflect the performances, of course. But yeah, no, I think that it's just really difficult, isn't it? That whole like deserves term, right? Like Mick had 2 years, didn't really take his shot, particularly in that second year. You know, he did what he could in first year. It was a terrible car.
Yeah, shocking car. But that second year was the one where he kind of needs to really grab it. And
yeah.
It's all right, but it just wasn't, you know.
And it's like if Mick gets a seat, then some other youngster doesn't get a seat.
Yeah.
Like a Liam Lawson or a Zane Maloney or a Yumi Iwasa or Alex Palou. Or, like, I could literally say so many names who I think deserve a seat.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, this whole pressure cooker that is F1, it kind of... It feels at times like it's a bit inhumane, the way like drivers are just like come in, super pressure, tossed aside.
Yeah, yeah.
But it kind of like has to be that way because there's so many juniors who won't even get a sniff. So like
that's the problem. You know, every year you've got a evolving field of like F2 drivers, 26 of them, 24, 26 of them, whatever, that are pushing to get into Formula One. There's just not enough seats. You know, when you've got someone like Max, who's going to be there for like 15 years at a time, Charles, Lewis, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, Lando, that's already like science. There's about 7 or 8 drivers on that grid who are just locked in for 10 years, like at a time. You won't see them leave, you won't see them go, you won't see them move on, you won't see them lose their seat. They're just there. That's almost half the grid.
Yeah.
So you've got 25 kids a year, because often like the fucking F2 field, half the time sweeps just completely changes.
Yeah.
25 people a year, roughly, competing for about 11 seats every year.
Yeah.
Forgetting about even the F3 drivers or IndyCar drivers that are probably good enough to do the job as well. If you then started being like, oh, go on, Mick, we'll give you another chance, whatever, it just gets so stale for me.
Because 90% of the time, maybe more, F1 is the dream.
Yeah.
Like F1 is the aim that all of these kids are going for. And it's because it's, you know, it's the biggest one. Yeah, I'm sure some, you know, they dream to race at Le Mans. They're not so interested in F1, of course. But, you know, so many drivers. I remember chatting to Will Power, right, who's like iconic IndyCar driver, been in it for years, Australian. And I didn't realise until like I spoke to him, and he was like, yeah, like I wanted that was the aim, F1. And it was just back when it was kart back in the day, he was like, that offered me a paycheck. That offered me a payday that I wasn't going to get in racing in Europe. Yeah. So then he took it and now he's become an IndyCar legend. And it's like all of these young drivers are aiming for F1. So it's like, I think it kind of has to be a little bit like that. But